What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So this video actually ended up being like 9,000 views, and that is Amber Amethyst Hyper Aggro win by turn 5, right? I had a bunch of people asking for gameplay footage, and well, Inktable is versus an AI, and it doesn't always play the best, but it works to a degree. You can test how your hands work, how things go, and if you upload your own decks to play against, it's not the worst for testing. So it at least helps you out a little bit. It's no Pixelborn, but it gets the job done. I don't have the time to sit here and do webcam games either, because I can crank out a handful of games on here in a rather fast manner. So we're going second against Ruby Amethyst, and then we will try going up against Bucky deck. We'll go up against a Sisu deck, Blue Steel, and maybe even one more. So if we're going second into the Ruby Amethyst matchup, how do we want to do it? I'm going to keep one snake. Really helps deal with like that Flynn Rider. Sleepy the 2/3. We're going to keep him in case of ink. Should we? No, we're not. No, we're not. We're going to keep the Pinocchio though. I want to get aggressive. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. We don't even play that many uninkables, but there they all are. We're going to get rid of Sleepy. He missed his 1-drop. We're going to play Maleficent. We'll see if they hit their 2-drop. Let's see if Flynn. Come on, Flynn. Cusco. Okay, Cusco, come down. I like Teeth and Ambition. I did notice, though, right before doing this video, I misspoke and had to redo some things, but slightly outdated build. I believe I had 2 Olafs in there to go with the Teeth Ambition more. I don't like Olaf in the deck currently, just on the 4 ones that most are. However, I do still like Teeth and Ambition in Ruby Amethyst. I think it definitely helps enough in the Bucky matchup as well. So, if we ink there, how do we want to do this? Let's go ahead, quest, play the snake to protect, not wanting, and we have so much aggro here, like, be prepared is the board wipe. And I'm not too worried about it. We can come back with like Pinocchio plus Lilo. We can come back with, if we hit an inkable card, Pooh Piglet, and that's not an inkable card. Okay, our opponent has no board, saying the Teeth to draw a card, I guess. Interesting. Like I said, the AI does not always play the best. We're more or less looking at our hand, how it's drawing, and it's actually very unfortunate. This is not a normal hand. You usually don't see this many uninkables, but it can happen, and it's actually not the worst because we're going into turn 4. Queen's Castle is probably the best thing that could happen because it's not a character, it's not a threat, it's not even a small character to where they can come down with a fox on this turn, like challenge with the small character, play fox, come back with and take out a couple characters. So we got 7 on board. We can, do we just do it that way? Could have played Donald, or no, let's just be safe. Worst case scenario, or best case I guess for our opponent, they have a Maui, and putting on the double Pinocchios is 6. Maui's not going to be able to take out everything. Hardly going to be able to take out anything. Brawl's not going to be enough, and that is enough for the game. So we can just quest out, go to, right, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. Yes. Quest out. So versus Ruby Amethyst, I guess what you want to do is, well, if you're on the play, it's much simpler, especially because if they play the 1-drop, only the one drop at 4, and they miss it, you're probably going to be sitting in a really good spot. If you're on the draw, then I consider keeping things like my bouncers more, like having Snake and Fox to come back, so that way you can quest. They're probably going to have a character on board. You lay the Snake down, you lay the Fox down, protect your early questers, get them off the board, and then get those big attack characters down to be able to trade with your opponent, and then you just start spamming out the board, and you win before Be Prepared can become a issue. So let's go ahead and get into another deck. Definitely click new deck. Okay, like I said, we got a handful of decks here, and if you're wondering how this goes, on Dreamborn you can just export to Inktable, brings them here, do it with all of them. Let's go and say against Bucky, select player 2. We're player 1. We're going to go random to see what happens. Player 2 is starting. So once again, we're going second, this time against Bucky. Okay, so how do we want to go against Bucky? The Queen's castles are actually good. I don't necessarily want to prioritize going for that, though. Turn 1, they probably have 8 to 10. I don't remember the exact list. Kita, again's pretty late. We have better bodyguards. Arthur and Lilo, I don't want the 2 unequables. We'll keep the friends and castle, though. And we hit Lilo. So just the 2 unequables. Diablo comes down. Hopefully we don't get hit. Another unequal. Shocker. Hopefully we don't get hit with the good old Bucky shift Diablo play. But we're going to get Lilo down. See what they do. They quest. So no shift Diablo coming. Sudden chill. That is... Okay, do we get rid of Ink? We got 2 piglets for Ink. We come back with a piglet, or we come back with Pinocchio. Let's just get rid of the castle. Maybe you don't get rid of the castle there, especially without the Bucky. Like, I don't think the AI mulligans hard enough for Bucky. It just feels that way because it feels like they don't ever hit it. And yeah, so normally I feel like you would mulligan harder for the Bucky, and they just don't. Probably could have kept our bodyguard there, but again, not necessarily worried about it. The Prince John being the bodyguard. So now the songs are coming out. Now is when the deck can get difficult to deal with. So Storm comes down, 1 of it, so there's probably 4 more. Let's see, what do we ink? Get rid of that. Play. Now we almost have to keep Lilo here, because otherwise we challenge. If we don't draw into a character, we're in trouble. And we can quest for 7 on our turn. Another Storm. Again, shocker. Seems like they will always have it. That's why steel decks are just very difficult for aggro. I don't think I played this out very smart or very good. We do hit a bodyguard, though, so that's alright. I don't necessarily want to get rid of my friends, but Queen's Castle would be pretty nice, too, to put down. So we lose a Lilo if we put Castle down now. Or do we put the Simba down? Then he gets 5. I almost feel like we got to go Castle. And then we can go friends, move into the castle, and leave it that way. We're going to lose a Lilo. That's fine. He'll probably have a song and sing it anyway. Ooh, Flynn, that's pretty good. Pretty good. But that's okay. So 2 and 1's only 3, so we get a few turns now, right? Let's move Lilo. We're not going to quest with her, though. We want the extra draw. We're going to draw there. Ink cards, ink there. Pass turn. He can't take out the castle. 6. I guess if he has what? Along Came Zeus. Along Came Zeus would be pretty good. 2 cards in hand makes the Flynn less good there. Robin Hood comes down. We get the extra draw. Come on. Extra draw. And it's go. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, so let's play Arthur. Play Lilo. Move Arthur to castle. And then we get to draw 2. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shift Diablo would be the only way he takes it out clean. We go to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19 with gold in hand. Okay, we win the game. So we're just going to pass turn. Oh, bad AI. You would never do that. You would hit the Arthur 110 times. So I guess that kind of taints this replay. But if he didn't have the song to deal there. So, again, the AI definitely messed that turn up. You would go Shift Diablo, Diablo Flynn, and Robin Hood takes out the castle. and then your Strength of the Raging Fire takes out the Arthur. You wouldn't be at quite as much lore, however, you would leave me on 2 Lilos and probably win the game. So what could we do different? What could you do versus this matchup? Personally, I do think this matchup is unfavorable. They just put out bigger characters, and they have a lot more 1 and 2 characters than other decks. They don't not start right away. So I do think the Bucky matchup is going to be more difficult. Again, prioritizing your bigger characters that you can trade with them, especially if you can. The hard part is like you want to get your bigger characters out, hold your hand size, and then just spam out all your little guys in one turn. The problem is they also come after your hand. So Bucky is unfavorable. Like I said, the AI handed us this game, so it's hard to really even continue saying what you should do, because realistically the game should have essentially been over. But another play like you can do if you have Amber Amethyst, and like the bread and butter here would be you play your goat, you get the lore from it, you quest your Arthur, you get lore number 2, and then Arthur triggers, bounce the goat for 3 and 4, goat triggers for number 5. We're going to go ahead and just ink that. Don't really care about anything else right now. Play the Wendy, and Wendy plus goat is game. Again, should not have been in that situation, so what could we have done? With 2 Lilos, we go to 12. Then play Snake for 2 ink. Bounce Lilo. Play Wendy. Play Lilo. We're at 12. We threatened 5 more to 17. Yeah, goat would be 18. So, I mean, it would have been really close had the AI played it out properly. I think we lose it close because we could get to 18. But at the end of the day, 18 doesn't matter, right? You need 20. So, unfavorable, but it was, again, close. So, Ruby Amethyst, I think the deck can do really well versus. Bucky, again, unfavorable. Let's go ahead. Sisu. We'll even let the Sisu deck go first because this is a very, very favorable matchup. It's a matchup I try to go hard early on. And let's see. We hit our 1-drop, we hit Piglet, and we hit Donald Duck. That's like the trifecta right there. If you can hit those 3 turns, you're winning this matchup every single time. And I know some people are going to disagree with me down below, like, no, you don't. And yeah, you do. I'm not going to mulligan anything, though. We're going to keep the Sleepy and the Snake as ink. We have draw if we need it. We have Arthur as another power play. Again, getting rid of that because our opponent probably won't even play a character until turn 4. So we'll have two turns of free questing before they even get there. And they may even have to take turn off and go like Brawl and stuff like that to deal with our board in the process. Hitting another Donald is going to be good. So we play Piglet, quest for 2. Next turn, because of Donald, we'll quest for 6 more. Go to 8, and we should be able to win by turn 5 really handily. Essentially, they'll get a Hiram. Ooh, Sisu comes down. So that's actually decent. And Sisu will one-shot our bodyguard. We don't need 2 friends here. So remember, now we're going to play the Donald as a bodyguard. Give the lore to your character. Quest for 4. Quest for 2. And again, Sisu's going to take out the Donald, but that's okay. Updated link is down in the description below. I know a lot of people say play Baloo, Baloo, Baloo. With the uninkable count, I don't know. I've played Baloo so much in this deck, and I don't think that it's the make or break card. I think Prince Eric dealing with their characters is better. Baloo is really good, but again, like, you already have your Lilos, your Maleficents, your Arthurs, and you can't and your Pinocchios, you can't afford to not have ink for how fast you want to play the game out. So I'm not huge on Baloo in the deck. I really like Baloo in Lemon Lime Aggro, just not necessarily sold on it in Amber Amethyst. I feel like it's a little bit unneeded. Sisu absolutely would have taken out Donald as well. We do have 2 more Donalds in hand, so it's not going to matter. Ink her. Then we can go ahead, play Donald as bodyguard once again for Piglet. Because we have another 3 on board. Donald, sing the friends. Since he's there, you know. Ooh, so we have the Arthur Goat set up now 2. Quest for 4. And then quest for 2 more. So we're threatening 6. We have Lethal on board with Goat in hand. We also have Bouncer in hand. So we got quite a bit of options. Our opponent's turn 5. What could you come down with? And they quest again. Like, this is what I mean. Like, the AI just not gonna cut it. We shouldn't have either of our Donalds. Sisu would be gone. Let's see. We'd have 2 less cards in hand. 1 less. No less lore, though. So again, even if the AI played it out properly, we still win. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's just do that. Because then we win on our next turn. Oh, not challenge. Not challenge. Quest. Quest. And quest. So we go to 19 with Goat in hand. Essentially is good as game because they cannot whole new world us. So my 7-year-old is actually playing Lemon Lime Aggro this weekend at Set Championships. I've mentioned it a few times, but we went to locals today at the time of recording, and he was actually doing pretty decent. I have a hard time not trying to explain things out a lot more. I was trying to let him make his decisions and everything to get him ready for it. Pretty excited to see how it does. We'll definitely let all you guys know how it goes for both of us. But we're pretty excited. He's ready to go. He is doing really well with the deck, making some good decisions. Chernobog is just insane. Kita is crazy. You don't need little Kita, though, to shift. It's just not needed. Let's go Blue Steel this time. Blue Steel can be second. I want to see random. Player 2 is starting. We might as well just pick them to go first. So against Blue Steel, let's see. They ramp and they have the Grab Your Swords. So Grab Your Swords as early as turn 4 hurts. That's what you want to avoid. You don't want them to get the Grab Your Swords. So we do have Bare Necessities. I wish we had a 1-drop, because then I would actually keep both of them, whether you have to ink one or not. But we don't have a 1-drop. We have a 2 in Wendy who survives Storm and Swords. So we're going to get rid of the Pinocchio, keep Bodyguard, keep Bare Necessities, and that is it. I want to keep at least one of those. We don't hit our 1. Unfortunate. Force Sphere comes down, draws a card. Our extra card is at a 1. It is not a 1. Okay. We're going to get rid of the Fox. Why the Fox? I just don't think Fox is going to matter in this matchup a ton. Smee comes down. Man, that Fox would have been good there. Let's see. Puts out a bunch of characters. Kita could actually be sneaky good. So let's hold on to her for a bit. Let's see. We're going to ink Wendy to play the Sleepy. If he wants to challenge Smee into it and trade even, I'm actually okay with that. So plays the 1 jump. Now he's ramping. Next turn, he's already got Grab Your Swords live. We do lose our Sleepy. He's going to lose his Smee. AI doing AI things. You would never do that because you want your Hiram to be able to pop it to draw. So we got 2-card advantage, but Grab Your Swords is on the table. None of our characters matter for it. Let's see. We do that. There's no point in going for a 3. Our board isn't worrisome for Grab Your Swords yet, so let's go ahead and get rid of the Bouncer, play the Wendy, and just have that extra ink that we're just not going to use. So how far I'll go. There's no Maui because it's steel, not sapphire. Don't care about that Bodyguard because we have Donald. Let's get the castle down and apply that pressure. So we're finally turn 4 and we're finally on the board for lore. This deck has to win by turn 5, right? Well, we're about to find out. Did he grab 1 jump ahead? So up to 9 ink. Holy cow. 9 ink on turn 5. But they have nothing on the board, so that's actually really good for us. let's go ahead. We're going to ink the key decks. I think we're aggressive enough to do that now. Play a goat, move the goat. Moving the readied character just on the off chance they have rush or anything like that. Pass turn. So we're up to 7 now. Aerial comes down, but you have no items because you fortisphered it away. Idiot. Let's see. Popsicle comes down, so that actually quests for 5, which is pretty good. But goat can take it out if needed. We finally see our 1-drop on turn 6. Get rid of that. What do we want to do? We could sing, play, and still move here. I think that's the play. So we go for 2. We suck. Should have played the Donald ahead of time on the Wendy to give her an extra one. So instead, we're going to play goat, play Lilo, sing, just see what their hand is. What do you have? Does have grab your swords. Grab your swords, beast, and fishbone quill. Sucks for them. And we have goat move into castle. Beast comes down, does not matter. Bell, that was a draw for turn, so we know fishbone quill is in hand. Draw. Look at that. And then we draw for turn. But that's 2, 4, 6. Essentially game. Like I said, these games don't just be like, oh, wow, that was crazy, that was good. Because, again, this AI is not, it's not a real person. It's not a competitive landscape. But if you want to use Inktable to practice your mulliganing, practice roughly how your cards interact with certain cards from the other decks, that works really well. Again, you can't just be like, oh, I did this all. And actually, I was talking up in our one group chat about Ruby Steel, how well it's doing against Bucky, and that was when I kind of concluded that they must not mulligan hard for Bucky. So then I started doing 2 live decks, just doing it myself, which unfortunately you know both hands, but try and play it out where you don't know the hand. I was doing Bucky versus the Ruby Steel, and I was still doing really well with Bucky. Tried setting them up. If they double Buckied me, that's just really hard to win. If you can't out double Bucky, you lose that game pretty much every time. But I was happy with how often I was able to come back from turn 2 Diablo shift on Bucky. But overall, I think the deck still fares pretty well into the Bucky matchup. And if you can do that and play, like, just even against yourself and just, pretend that you don't know their hand, try and play it out as if you didn't. Because, again, if you just be like, oh, I know he has this, I'm going to play this card, you're not getting good testing in. But, yeah, so where'd we go? This is just, again, a rough video on some gameplay, some mulligan. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like this? If you don't, we don't have to do it again. If you'd rather just deck theory, deck talk, meta breakdowns, what decks are performing, things like that. Or maybe I'll try to find a different way to kind of just show this. But again, the core basis of this video is mulliganing, how your cards kind of work together, and just getting used to playing your cards in certain orders, and less about the actual interaction with the opponent, because the interaction from the opponent is just not very realistic. So thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and as always, take care.